We're ripping and rolling. How you doing? Look out. It's Letter Up Friday as we speak, the 15th of July, 2022, and podcast number 453, in case you're keeping count. Anyway, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Every day is Friday as far as we're concerned. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer, Pete Davis, sidekick and producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And, of course, mechanical mangler at the controls is Philander at El Flondo Condo. And we got, it's a podcast, so we're not a newscast, but we got a lot of newsy stuff to talk about, including two things that just broke as I was coming in, or actually a little bit earlier this morning. One, Jim Thorpe's going to get his medals back posthumously. Yeah, in 1912, finally, in 1912, Jim Thorpe, America's greatest amateur athlete, won the gold medal in the decathlon and the gold medal in the pentathlon. I mean, was just unheard of. 1912. In 1909 was it? I think in 1909 he played in the summertime after he got out of Carlisle College, Indian College, or what? Carlisle?
Pennsylvania, Carlisle.
Carlisle College for Indians, or whatever it was called. And he played semi-pro baseball for $35 for a summer. And when they found out about it, they took his medals. They refused to give him his Olympic gold medals.
Which made no sense.
It's
baseball. What does that got to do with the pentathlon?
Well, but isn't it, and the reason I brought it up, the point is, isn't it funny how from then, if you so much as got $50 a summer for playing baseball, and when look at what now. It finally in the 70s, when all those Russian women, had mustaches and beards. And size 12 feet. I mean, they were freaking guys. And remember Romania and all the Eastern Bloc countries, were just, and nobody was fooled. I mean, they looked like remember the track running girls? They were guys.
They look like the guys that are swimming in the pools now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, so finally they said, okay, you don't have to be an amateur. You can have anybody can play. That's why people from the National Hockey League or the NBA can be on the Olympic team. So anyway, but again, isn't what a change it is from back then, when for God's sakes he played a semi-pro baseball and didn't get his medals for 100 years, and now he finally got them. They're giving him back both medals, gold medals, which is about freaking time. And the other thing that was kind of breaking as we're coming into, as I was actually heading this morning, the second largest school district in the state of Georgia, Cobb County, has voted to allow certain members of the Cobb County school who work employees of Cobb County school system to carry guns in school.
Really?
Not the teachers, but they're going to have designated security people or officers or people. Somebody is going to be hired to have guns in the Cobb County schools. Ta-da! I mean, it makes sense. And teachers if you don't want a gun, you don't have to have a gun. I mean, no one's forcing anybody to carry a gun in Cobb County schools. But frankly, especially after, and I'll bet the video that came out the other day with Uvalde, Texas, where they showed the cops backing up. In fact, one of those cops, now it turns out, was one of the cops who went in there who was talking to his wife on the phone, and she was pleading, get me out of here, later died. And he was one that they were forcing back. Anyway, you saw the video. I mean, it's just a horrible, horrible scandal of what happened. Those kids died when a lot of them did not have to, not that anybody had to. Anyway, so Cobb County is allowing some employees, I think they have to still figure it out, to be able to carry guns in school, on the campus, whatever need. Thank God. And by the way, the other thing that makes sense is if there's a problem, the people who are right there know where the doors are. They know where the aisles, they know where the hallways are. They know where the hiding places are. How do you get to the furnace or whatever, trying to hide. I mean, people who work there know that stuff. If you have some cop who's, a beat cop downtown 20 miles away, he doesn't know anything about the school unless he went there. But I mean, so it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's about freaking time. It sounds like somebody's, using a little common sense up there in Cobb County, which is nice for a change. Which thank you, appreciate it. Well done.
Evil.
What's that?
That was an evil laugh.
I'm trying to not to be. I was thinking today. I think I'm becoming a grumpy old man. and I'm trying to really be, I'm trying to really just, I know, well, like pretending to becoming, very funny, mister. He said, what do you mean becoming? Yeah, you didn't have to say much. Becoming. And I just, so I'm trying to, I'll catch myself. But it's things, when bad things happen to me, I no longer am quiet about it. I think that, I'll give you a minor example. Again, I'm this business with my teeth. I can't wait to get my actual things in, so I'm very excited about it. I had my follow-up with the oral surgeon. I've got stitches now, so I'm still kind of uncomfortable. No big deal. It's part of life. Okay, so that's fine. So I called the dentist on Tuesday, 3 days ago, as we speak. And I said, you've got the information now. I got cleared by the oral surgeon. He did the thing with me today. So I want to make an appointment. She said, okay, I'll get you your appointment thing, and I'll call you back. Never called back. 2 days later, I called back, and I said, I never called back to so-and-so. And I didn't get angry or anything. I said, I called 2 days ago, and she said she'd call me back, and no one ever called me. And so the person I talked to at that time said, apologized profusely. And they were nice, and I wasn't an asshole about it, but I was clearly, told her, you didn't call me back. And then she said, well, the earliest we can get you in is next Wednesday. And first thing I thought of, well, that's a podcast day. And if I don't have to change my schedule, because I've got hearing things and I've got, so I said, if you have a Tuesday or a Thursday, I said, it would really, after what's going on, we're not getting that. And so then I started getting a little assertive, and I wasn't really angry, but anyway, so now they're making an accommodation, and it's going to be Tuesday afternoon. And she said, here's the catch. She said at 4:30. I said, that's great. Anytime you can do it, that'd be great. And I said, this is just for a mold, right? So you're just going to do a mold on what you need to do. And she said, well, yeah, it'll take about an hour and a half. I said, an hour and a half. And I said, well, that's great. I said, I appreciate it. And then I hung up. I realized, I'll guarantee you the doctor had to work that. When she put me on hold to find out if she could get me in earlier than that Wednesday, I'll guarantee the doctor was thinking about it and said, okay, well, we'll do it. Because the staff doesn't want to work on a Tuesday afternoon until 6 o'clock.
Right.
So I guarantee you that he's getting me in there. So I'm going to thank him profusely when I go next Tuesday to tell him that I had another doctor conflict and I couldn't help it. But again, I'm trying to catch myself to not be, too overreactive because grumpy old man, it's easy to become grumpy old man because you're tired of it. I'm up to here, so anyway, it's a whole new happy old fellow. That's me, the happy old fellow.
Winter Kimmer.
Thank you. Anyway, I just thought I'd pass it along. Funny thing, well, not particularly funny as in ha-ha funny. I just a short while ago, I got a bing on my phone, and it says, would you vote for President Trump a third time? Your response will go directly to him.
Yeah, right. Directly to him.
Directly to him. And then the website is a web.act.co/FJMP, whatever that is. Anyway, I didn't respond. I hit stop to get out of it, so I'm out of it. But now it's even specific. Would you vote for Trump a third time? Not just do you support the Republican candidate or something.
Never answer a question.
No.
They're fishing for information.
I'm sure of it. Yeah, it's like the whole TikTok thing. Anyway, I thought that was pretty amusing, and I thought that they're doing that specific. In fact, before we even get to like newsy stuff, I'll talk about it in a few minutes on Donald Trump again. Sorry, I got confused. On the checking my Twitter. Wow, they are so mean on the death of Ivana. Oh my! And I'll talk about it. And also on Donald Trump, basically announcing that he's made up his mind. It's all he knows. Everything knows, and it sure looks like he's running again. I mean, it looks like it's 95% positive he's running again. Anyway, a couple of things before we get to actual newsy stuff. Let's see. I mentioned I was on the radio this morning. Again, if you go to thekimmershow.net. on your computer, you can log into anything you're looking for. And please, we really appreciate it. A lot of people are logging on to YouTube. And when you hit the YouTube little bippity bop, there's a bippity bop that says subscribe. Hit that. You don't have to fill anything out. Just click it, and you're done forever. Never do it again. But it helps us gain subscribers by number, and that means we might be able to keep the podcast going.
We have a good luck number kicking right now. We currently have 666 followers on YouTube.
God, please, somebody go to thekimmershow.net, please, right now. Doug Kimmer Show. Denise just wrote me a 2-page letter about how much she loves our little podcast because it means something to her personally, and she sent us a check. And, God bless you folks. Again, if you're looking for an address, you can contact us. We'll give you an address if you want to send us a check. like so many of you good, sweet, wonderful people do. You can go to PayPal or patreon.com/Kimmer Show. Anyway,
do what Ray just did. He got on YouTube and he goes, "Hello, boys." And grumpy.
I'm really trying. I'm really, honestly, I'm really trying to be a good person. And and the problem is, I've still got all my stuff from my storage unit all over my downstairs thing. I'm not
yard sale.
I mean, what am I going to do with stuff? You've seen the crap that I've got there. What am I supposed to do with it? Including all the trinkets I've gotten from people over the years. And anyway, and I'll come across something of my family and my father. My father was probably the greatest man who's ever lived, and so every time I see him, I say, "Oh, geez, I bet he's probably going, no, you shouldn't have done that," Anyway,
my father used to do that when I was alive. He would, every once in a while, he'd listen to the show and he'd say, "Why did you say that?"
Oh, I knew every year for Christmas I'd give them one of my Kimmer CDs, and I knew it was never going to open. It was really kind of a joke. It was something that got to unwrap, but I knew they'd never take the plastic off the
coaster.
The Target. Anyway, that's not going to work at all. Anyway, I was mentioning I was on 106.3, the radio link that we have here in our podcast and so forth. On Friday mornings, I get on with them around 7:25 or so. How'd it go? Was it okay this morning?
It was great. Actually, I was going to say, if you go to the website, you can listen to it because it's available there. Just to click and go to the podcast part. And Kimmer was on fire today. Good stuff today.
Well, it was. It's fun to do, really. And I miss. I really miss being on the radio, the actual radio. But it was a lot of fun. And I mentioned to them, I think they got a kick out of this. I have a new neighbor. All of a sudden, I'm backing out of my driveway, and there's a guy in the driveway next to me, and it's been vacant for months because the people sold it and moved into one of the cabin places up north here, beautiful place. Anyway, and so it's been vacant for at least 3 months, I guess. And all of a sudden, there's a car in the driveway and a guy there, and I'm pulling my car out, and he kind of waves, and so I wave
Ned
through the
Flanders.
window. Yeah, so
howdy, neighbor.
Yeah. How long you lived here? Anyway, so I got out of the car, and he's my new neighbor, and I don't know if I didn't ask if he has a family, or we didn't talk for it because I was on my way to whatever. Anyway, so I have the neighbor. So I was saying this morning. So last night. This was yesterday. So last night, I was going upstairs to go to bed, and just to get him used to things, I started saying, "I told you to get off my back!" Just so in case he hears some yelling going on in there, like on Asian cheerleader night. There could be some loud noises, and I wanted to kind of get him used to it. But now I got to be careful because, all of a sudden, I usually, if it's cool, if the nights are nice, I have my back door open a little bit where I'm upstairs where my deck goes. And so I have, I just have nice little cool air coming in there, and I keep the air. I don't keep the air down real cold or anything. So now I'm probably going to have to be a little more careful and more cautious because I'm very quiet in my place. But anyway, so I'm being more careful with my new neighbor.
You're on your deck coughing?
Apparently. Ventilating.
Yeah, the naked promenading at midnight probably going to have to cease.
Getting some fresh air in there.
Yeah, that's what it is, fresh air.
Hey, thank you. Wow.
Just airing this out.
What is that, Thai food? What the hell? What, have you been to Somalia? Yeah. Jesus, man. Anyway, I don't even know what that means. A TV tip, and this is really kind of an egghead thing. Remember we talked we talked about that new telescope, the James Webb telescope, showing all those pictures of outer universe. And so that night I went home, maybe it was last night. No, it was whatever night. Anyway, and I'm just going through the TV, and on public television, one of the Nova stories was on the Webb telescope. And I thought, well, I didn't really give a crap about how they made the telescope, but I said, I'll DVR. Whenever I see something, it might be on the History Channel, I do a lot of stuff like that, the men who really won the West kind of stuff. I'll DVR it and see if it's got any interest later. So I DVR this thing on the telescope thinking, this is all crap, Well, I started playing it. Later on or this morning, whatever, man, it had great computer graphics of the outer space universe, what it meant, how they put it together. It showed how enormous the project was. It took them something like there were basic levers in the telescope and that have to be unfolded in space when they got it out there, and it took them something like 8 days to I mean, it was really a remarkable story. And if you have any interest in kind of thing, it sounds real eggheadish, but Nova and it was it was the Webb telescope or the new telescope or Super telescope or something. And I'm telling you, I really enjoyed it. It was, I mean, it was entertaining as well as I said, oh my God, I had no idea. So.
I almost bought a telescope the other night. It was that Amazon Day thing. They had a bunch of sales, which
Yeah.
is never anything I need or want.
Yeah.
But I was flicking through it, and there was a telescope, and it was like a third off. And I'm like,
I have
almost
one.
bought it. But I don't know anything about telescopes. I didn't want to get a stupid one, so I didn't go.
I have one that I was given as part of a marriage thing. Anyway, and you can the good ones you can actually dial in where they will tell
put
you
your
in
phone
the
on
stars.
it.
Yeah.
You put your phone on it, and
Yeah.
it'll show it through your phone. You can look at it, and then it'll find
and
it
it'll
for
find
you.
it. Yeah, I mean, of course, those are expensive, but I mean, I have one that was, hundreds of dollars. It wasn't thousands of dollars or anything. That was given. It was a gift 30 years ago. And I don't even know where it is. In fact, I wonder where it is. I think she took it. She
Breaking
took
news:
everything
we
else.
are now at 667 followers.
Oh, thank you, somebody. Thank you. We are totally and freakingly grateful.
If we get to 1,000, we should do something for the little people.
We'll do a tarantella. We'll do a little dance, put on hats or something, and we'll have a little special thing. I don't know. Or something else.
I was thinking the other night, we didn't even thought about going up to Rome to see a minor league game, or go to Gwinnett and see a minor league game this year.
Yeah, why
we haven't
not?
even thought about it.
We could do
I
that.
mean, we definitely try Gwinnett because not a lot of people go to those games, and it's a really nice minor league stadium. And they got a tap
It's a little
room.
hard to get her.
They got a tap room.
Yeah, we
Closer
can do
than
that.
Rome.
Yeah. Well, hell, last time we had almost 7 people showed up to say hi. So
I think this time we can get 8.
We had a good crowd.
it was fun. I just saying, we're going to go see the Kimmer and Pete and Flounder. Yeah, let's make a trip. It would be great fun. We could have fun. I mean, we had great fun the last time. We had pictures and we talked to people. We had guys brought their wives and we had photographs. We had a good time. We could do that.
Unfortunately, the wives brought their husbands. So.
Yeah, we could do it on I something have for like Friday night games and Saturday night games and stuff.
But it's not much longer. The season doesn't last as long as the majors.
I think to go don't they go like the first week in August or something?
2 more months, maybe.
Don't those guys get called up, or possibly when they expand the team?
September, which they don't
it
do as much as
September?
they used to, I don't think.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Anyway, well, I mean, it'll be fun. And by the way, if we do that and we make an actual public appearance, all the things that people have talked about, if we ever do a public appearance, remind us and we'll do them or bring them or whatever it is you're.
What?
I don't know. If somebody said that they would want something for it, I don't know. I'm just saying we're trying to be helpful and happy. All right, ding dong.
Thank you.
Miss Francis and Ding Dong School. Yeah, up yours.
Ding Dong School.
Ding Dong. Don't you remember Ding Dong School?
No, I don't
Oh
remember
my
Ding
God!
Dong
A black
School.
and white TV days of like the days of Captain Kangaroo and
Romper
Mr.
Room-
Greensleeves.
Romper Room.
Miss Francis, it was a very large, serious woman, and she ran Ding Dong School.
I bet she did. Ding Dong School.
And she was like every caricature of every, homeroom teacher in the 50s you've ever seen in a Woody Allen movie. And she was very nice, and she had Ding Dong School.
I bet she
Never
did.
missed it.
I bet you didn't.
Oh my God.
I bet that bitch on Romper Room never saw me. She saw Jimmy every day. And Sally,
Yes.
she never saw me.
Somewhere there is a picture of me in the circle of little children at the age of maybe 5 or 6 years old on the Freddie Freehofer TV clown show that was in local Schenectady cable TV or something from 1954.
Freddie
or
Mertz
whatever.
TV
Oh
show.
my God, it's there somewhere and I don't know where. Speaking of where to find things, how about Dead Crow Defense back as a Kimmer sponsor? Now wait a minute, Flounder was just bragging and showed us his very nice new carry piece. It's a 9mm that feels like a small 380. I mean, it's really a very, very
Sig 350, I think it's called.
Sig Sauer. It's a 9mm, and it's very light. It's not titanium, but it's really lightweight. I was very surprised.
I would show the folks on YouTube and Facebook, but we would probably get removed, so that's why I'm not showing it.
Well, we're not showing on the podcast just because we're afraid of somebody.
Yeah.
They had a gun. Oh my God! Yeah, well, gun this, Pally boy. Anyway, and you got all the. This is a Dead Crow Defense. Defense deal. And
Dead Crow Defense, and he's shipping me a holster and quoting me some bullets for it.
Outstanding. And again, the ammo, a lot of people are saying, oh, I can't find 9mm ammo. Well, you can now.
Yes.
I mean, Dead Crow
Give
Defense.
Dead Crow Defense a call. They're sourcing everywhere. They've got, and he's super busy, so all is good with Dead Crow.
Yep. In fact, they're not a gun store. They're a personal arms dealer. Is what your personal arms dealer, because they have not just guns, but all the ammo and the gear. And if you're looking for a suppressor, you don't have to wait a year to get a license for it. They'll get you the thing in a couple of months. I mean, it never been easier than it is right now. The old-fashioned way: customer service, personalized service, and whatever you're looking for, if it's in stock, it'll mail out the next day. Here's how you get a hold of Dead Crow Defense, your personal arms dealer. DeadCrowDefense.com. For the in-stock items, go out the next day. If you want to look them up on the internet for sales, it's easy to remember. Same address, sales at DeadCrowDefense.com. So either way, DeadCrowDefense.com. And they answer the phone. Here's the phone number, area code 678-576-9117. Dead Crow Defense, your personal arms dealer. And again, congratulations to Flounder with a new piece, man. It's a beauty. And they're ready to take care of you. There you are. I mentioned something also on the a little radio bit today. In fact, I heard the guys were talking about teachers and unions and kids are learning in school and what they're not learning in school and trying to protect your children and how everything is different these days. Did you see the study that showed most millennials who are aged 26 to 41 is officially it. Most millennials don't know how to finish a nursery rhyme. Mary had a little lamb, of course, and people were saying duck, a little chicken, a small tiny horse. Honest to God, people 35, 40 years old don't know nursery rhymes. MacDonald had a, I mean.
They don't know the Greek gods and anything like that anymore because that was our mythology, but theirs is Marvel and DC comics.
Yeah, but again, and I was making the point, the reason is because they don't say nursery rhymes to their children. And the reason is because they don't do anything with their children. They don't sit around the dinner table or the breakfast table and talk about your day or what.
They put an iPad in
give
front of
little
them.
quizzes or stuff. My parents used to, keep us, activated, because they were educated people. But anyway, but parents, of that age, the proof I think is by the results of the survey is that they, when's the last time you thought of a 38-year-old parent reading nursery rhymes to his child in bed? Before you go to bed. That's what our parents did. That's what we did. I remember reading stories to Sarah and Jennifer. Read one more, Daddy. When's the last time you said, read one more, Daddy?
Yeah. I bought for my nephews when they had their kids. I bought them a whole thing of the fairy tale books.
Yeah,
all of them.
I hope they got used. But again, it's that. Isn't it funny that age group doesn't know nursery rhymes for obvious reasons, which I think is again the kids are raising themselves on their own phones. The kids don't need mommy to read them a nursery school rhyme. They can look it up.
And it's literature, and no one does literature anymore.
Nobody
we
reads.
don't teach the classics anymore.
Right.
We don't because it's colonialism.
Yeah.
We don't teach the old dead white English writers anymore. So everybody's an idiot.
I took a course in Chaucer. One of the hardest things I ever took in my life. Holy crap. I walk in, this is Arizona State. And again, by the way, I did 4 years of college in 2 years. I went to summer school, I went nights, and I was working 7 days a week. I just gotten out of the Marines. I was dedicated. I had a wife, so I was really dedicated to get going. So I did 4 years of college in 2 years. Summer school and night job and everything, and I'm trying to take as many courses. I took like 8 courses a semester. It was ridiculous, and so I said Chaucer. Well, that's just reading poetry. I'll be able to do that. I walk into class the first day. The freaking professor is reading it in Old English. And I'm going, oh God! I think I got a C in that course. I had an A average. I got a C in that, and a C in one of my history courses that I took by mistake. Anyway, but who's read Chaucer? You think anybody's read Chaucer in school? Or for that matter, E.E. Milne, Winnie the Pooh.
A.A. Milne.
A.A. Milne. See, once again, E.E. Cummings. I was thinking of E.E. Cummings, with strangest freaking poet writer I ever read. Anyway, why are we talking about poetry? Oh, my God. I've lost it. I'm telling you, Jimmy, I've lost it. And who's this Jimmy? And by the way, the other thing, I was looking up the survey. Just for the record, millennials are aged 26-41. Gen Z is age 10 to 25. Gen X is 42 to 57, so it's millennials and then Gen X. And now they have Baby Boomer 2. Did you know that? There's no longer baby boomers because we no longer count. We're not even in the surveys anymore. They now have Baby Boomer 2, ages 58 to 67. So
I'm still
you're a
alive.
Baby Boomer 2. I'm no longer even in a survey. I'm dead. It's over. I mean, seriously, I swear to God, I'm not making that up. We're not even in their universe anymore.
Which is stupid because people are living longer and they're the ones who have the money.
Well, that what used to be the joke of it. You know, it used to be 18 to 49, then it was 18 to 34. You know, and then it was 12, then it was preteens to 34. And then someone said, "Excuse me, but people in their 60s are at the end of their career and making all their money when they're 60, 70 years old. They've got whatever they're going to have. Those are the ones who have the spendable income."
Yeah.
So anyway, but not anymore. I mean, you know, but isn't that funny? I'm not even there. Baby Boomer 2. I've got just a big
Like a sequel. I'm a sequel.
Stupid kick out of that. Yeah, I mean, coming next season. That was very bizarre. Oh, by the way, I just saved us a whole bunch of money for. Again, we ask you for your donations and subscriptions to the Kimmer Show podcast. I just saved us a pile of money. New Yorker, I knew they'd come back, and they're after us again to, you know, if instead of this $9 business, so I just saved us a pile of money. So thank you all for your support. This was very bizarre, and I was sad to see that Ivana Trump died at the age of only 73, the first wife of Donald Trump. And Ivana, and of course Ivanka is the daughter, her daughter. She was only 73, and the Trump family posted all kinds of wonderful things about her. She was an Olympic champion. Was she a skier or a cross-country runner? She was, I think, a skier. She was an Olympic champion, a world-class athlete, shot putter, discus, world-class shopper. Ivana piece of this, Ivana piece of that. A little too Shecky Green in there for some reason.
Why? Little Catskills going. She played the Catskills.
You know, I think I've driven through the Catskills on the way to the Adirondacks.
It's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
And on the way to Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
That's when
Actually, you're well past Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Catskills is to the left, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous country.
Well, Hudson
anyway,
Valley, all of it
yeah. Anyway, so they released a statement and we're deep sadness and all so forth and so forth. And then all of a sudden, so I'm looking through. I do my one time a day look through my Twitter business.
Have you posted yet on Twitter?
No. In fact, did we get any feedback on what I should post? That was one of the things we were wondering about. Was what should be my first post, my first Twitter post.
Just post.
All right. Well, I guess that really didn't go over too well.
Break the cherry.
Who gives a shit? And if they don't even, nobody
Well,
cares one way or the other, why should I care?
No one caring about what the Kimmer should post. Brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets, ClosetPro.net, 404-255-0589. That's ClosetPro.net and Atlanta Custom Closets.
There you are, Atlanta Custom Closets, my friends. Anyway, so the reaction on Twitter about Donald Trump praising his former wife, and by the way, they become business partners. They'd talk every day almost. I mean, they were friends, and my starter wife, my favorite ex-wife, I would do anything for her. I love her. I always will, and I will do whatever, anything I can do. But.
Mine hasn't talked to me in 36 years.
I send videos of my horse videos every day to her and my two daughters. Every day I have 3 videos sent. I send one to my 2 daughters and my first starter wife, and then to my Kim Peterson podcast, focus. Okay, reaction on Twitter. To Donald Trump loving his former wife who died at only 73 and was found at the bottom of the stairs. MT says, I don't recall him calling her a wonderful woman when he was on the Howard Stern show trying to blank Jessica Hahn and was blanking Marla Maples all while still married to Ivana. But I'm old and have seen what a scum he was from the beginning. Whew. Wow. Eric, Trump fundraising off of his ex-wife's death makes it quite clear that the wrong Trump died. Jesus, here's heat. Donald Trump Jr. is lucky as blank that Ivana Trump needed a chain migration baby. Barron Trump is lucky as blank that Melania Trump needed a chain migration baby. Tiffany Trump is LAF. Marla Maples didn't get the abortion Trump begged for. Family values. Oh, my God. Listening to Trumpanzees, if you know they called us that, people who voted for Trump are Trumpanzees. That's pretty funny.
Didn't catch on.
Listening to Trumpanzees mourn the death of the woman Donald Trump cheated on for Marla Maples is whack. Oh, the self-same Ivana who accused Trump of rape? He cheated on her with Marla Maples, who hinted to the media that she had damaging info on Trump until he paid her off, who died under mysterious circumstances just before Trump was forced to give a deposition in his New York case of fraud. Why Trump? He divorced her to bang Marla Maples like 30 years ago. He's fundraising off her death. This is blank blank. Donald Trump, what a POS trend since he's using his first wife for the pocket money. Oh, my. I mean, just using her death as a fundraising tool. Can he get any more loathsome? The orange despicable toadstool.
I guarantee you, 90% of these people have cheated on their husbands or wives
Guarantee
that are
it.
doing this.
Has anyone checked on Marla Maples lately? Looks like they found a strategy that works. Somebody better check on Marla.
Of all the people that Hillary has killed,
Yeah,
alleged-
oh my God,
yeah,
they
that
actually
Trump
keep-
does not have a long list
Yeah.
of people like the Clintons
They
do.
actually killed a guy, and the state trooper, and so many others. Well, that's my opinion. The thing I remember most is that after Donald divorced her, he asked her to decorate the Plaza Hotel ballroom as a favor to him. She put her heart and soul into it. He then booked its first event, the wedding reception to Marla Maples, the woman he left her for. So what? You know, anyway.
You knew he was a snake when you picked him up.
Yeah, is she the wife he cheated on with a hooker, or the one he cheated on with Marla? It's hard
They're
to keep
also
track.
morally high on their
Yeah.
high horse, aren't
these
they?
people are so wonderful in every
They
way.
never break
Oh
anything.
my God!
All of a sudden, they
Anyway.
found religion and morals, on that.
Yeah.
By the way,
Oh,
I made a
please.
mistake yesterday, flicking around like you do.
Yeah.
And there was that dried up husk, Judy Woodruff, who's got to be 200 years old, and they prop her up on PBS. And the story was dissatisfied Democrats. And I'm thinking, well, it'd be interesting how PBS is going to portray this, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. They go to this young Hispanic chick reporter, and the first thing out of her mouth is, "It's actually good news for Democrats, Judy, because a recent poll shows that 98% of Democrats say they would still vote for Joe Biden."
Yeah. Period. Pause. End of sentence. Instead of saying, if he were running right now against Donald Trump, would Democrats still vote for Biden against Donald Trump?
But imagine
of
that.
course.
But imagine that. You're seeing everything collapse around you. You're losing your
I know.
retirement, but you would still
But that's-
vote for the guy because
Yeah.
you hate Trump.
Right.
How incredibly bad is it?
In fact, I mention every time an issue comes up, whether it's Roe versus Wade or anything else, the bottom line. Oh, somebody asked this morning was one thing they were asking about why do these people keep supporting Dr. Fauci? He's been wrong at every turn of the way through. And I said the reason that they still, and it's the Democrats, isn't the people, it's the Democrats and the Democratic leadership. And the administration are all supporting Fauci because he's an anti-Trump guy. They're supporting him because he was the one who disagreed with Trump, that Trump hates him, that they disagree. Therefore, if it's anti-Trump, it's good for the Democrats. It's as simple as that. They don't believe him. He's been proven to be he's on the take. He makes $1 million a year. He's the most highly paid government employee in history. He has like 3 institutes, and he gets paid for them. He gets paid for the research and stuff they do.
The research that caused
Yeah,
this.
that started with the weaponizing of the virus in the monkey lab and the actual lab in Wuhan. Anyway, but again, it's because he's an anti-Trump. They don't believe the shit he's been pummeling out. They really think the masks and the whole school thing worked for 2 years? Please.
California's going back to the masks, by the way.
And there you are. It's all anti-Trump. It's all anti-Trump. And speaking of that, a quick note. All of a sudden, an awful lot of publicity that Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage and Chelsea are now the head of a documentary series on gutsy women. Have you seen this business? There's now a new, I don't know whether it's on TV or Netflix or something. It's a new series where they're going to be interviewing people like Kim Kardashian and who's this chick, Mega the Stallion?
Megan Thee Stallion.
That's a girl. And what's her? What is she, like a rapper?
A rapper,
or
yeah.
Oh Jesus! So they're going to be interviewing tough women, gutsy women, Hillary and Chelsea. Chelsea, basically the trust fund baby who,
White privilege.
Yeah, talk about white
Poster
privilege.
child.
Oh my God. and Hillary Rodham Stinky Fart Cabbage, the least trustworthy woman in America. Gutsy my ass. She's a criminal. Although she can tell with one phone call who's going to die within a week. So again, I mean, it's a tremendous soothsayer. The woman's a soothsayer, I tell you.
Prophet among us.
Who am I to say? Anyway, let's see. Oh God, we got so much going on here today. Kevin Spacey went to England to plead not guilty. 3 guys more than 10 years ago complained when he was part of some theater, old Vic Theater group from the 2004 to 2015. Apparently, he was a serial sexual assaulter, including one guy that he actually penetrated, apparently, and they were suing him for all kinds. He pleads not guilty.
Oh, they probably like
Kevin Spacey.
Probably asked for it.
Oh, one update on the news, too. A few days ago, or a few podcasts ago, we mentioned the story, a horrible story, in Texas, of a 13-year-old boy driving a pickup truck that crossed into the oncoming lane, hit a van carrying college golfers from New Mexico who were coming back from a tournament, and killed, killed 9 people. And it was a 13-year-old driving the truck. Well, apparently they discovered that it was not the 13-year-old driving the truck at all. It was his methamphetamine high father. Now, my initial question is, and I don't have the police report, I wonder whether the father tried to convince the kid, take the rap for me because I'm high and I'll never pass, Christopher with Tony Soprano, or whether the father was passed out and the kid said, got behind the wheel on his own to try to save his father. I mean, isn't it amazing? One of 2 ways this could have gone. Either the kid tried to save his father by taking the rap, or the father tried to blame the kid to save his own ass. I'll bet that was it. Or maybe he was passed out and they couldn't tell and they were all cracked up.
Either way, take the kid away from him.
Either way, that father can never. Yeah, I mean, he's responsible for the 9 people.
Should
dying.
never see the light of day again.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Period.
I'm
this
sorry.
is
You killed
mass
9
murder.
people.
It's over. That's
Well, they'll call it manslaughter, won't they?
Well, vehicular homicide, and then I think every state probably is different, but vehicular homicide, they can determine whether it was an accidental death. I mean, that's the thing. And by the way, remember, with these marijuana laws, if you're driving your car and you had a joint 3 weeks ago, and you get in an accident and somebody dies, and they find marijuana in your system, you might go to prison for 20 years, even though it may not really have been even your fault, let alone if you're high in your system. I mean, until they come up with a blood test on that, you better be scared to death to drive if you're high. I don't know.
Should be anyway.
Well, let's not get too, we don't want to make a mandatory, statement or something. Come on, Flounder, look at Flounder's jumping up and down over there. Come on.
Come on. Now,
he's getting pretty good at this. I don't know.
My people, they won't even play ZZ Top's Driving While Blind on the radio anymore. We had to give that up. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, some things some people just don't belong. Okay, another newsy thing that I don't want to talk about, but I think we have to, mostly because there are still some questions, and I think the whole thing is such a shame that it's worth talking about. The 10-year-old girl who may well have been 9 when she was raped and impregnated. She got pregnant. First of all, how in the world, she was in Ohio, how in the world is a girl able to menstruate at the age of 9? And again, it's because of the food they eat is better for you. The nutrition, that stuff is in the milk. I mean, women's bodies, girls' bodies are maturing earlier because they have much better nutrition, health, and welfare things, and vaccines and.
It
drugs.
happens in the third world too, though. Every once in a while it happens.
I guess so. Anyway, that was one explanation. But either way, I mean that is astounding news to me. Secondly, the story that came out was that an abortion doctor said because of Roe versus Wade, a 10-year-old girl had to cross state lines to get an abortion because the law wouldn't let her get an abortion. That was all bullcrap. Okay, the law in Ohio, and somebody said, well, she was 6 days too old and the judge wanted her to wait to da-da-da. No. If you're raped and you're 9 or 10 years old in Ohio, there are exceptions to any rule that you can get. They will take care of you. They will give you an abortion or whatever they have to do. I mean, they don't just send you back into another state. So the whole story was that the Roe versus Wade, Donald Trump appointed SCOTUS members, Supreme Court of the United States, are responsible for this little girl having to go across state lines to get an abortion. Bullcrap. It was a wrong, and the emphasis was on the abortion Roe versus Wade Donald Trump conservatives in the first place, which never should have been the emphasis. So the story was this little girl was raped and got pregnant, that she was pregnant. Then the other story was, okay, how come nobody knows this? Where's the police report? And reporters called all the attorneys general. They called state prosecutors in little towns. They called where the kid apparently came from, and everybody said, no, we don't have any reports of any child being raped. Nobody's been arrested or anything. And then like a week went by, and suddenly this guy got arrested. And then it turns out that the guy apparently is living in the house with the family. And then I saw the video last night translated from Spanish, where a Spanish reporter went to the house and talked through the door, and the woman admitted she's the mother, but everything is okay and nothing happened and everything you've heard is wrong. Now, wait a minute. Obviously, well, we'll get to this too. Every media outlet other than Fox, every single one headline, an Ohio man arrested for rape. Not an Ohio illegal immigrant arrested for rape. Illegal immigrant was the other story, and obviously the whole freaking family's a bunch of, I got to assume, illegal immigrants. Well, she didn't want to turn them in because she was afraid of all of them being deported. So then, oh my God, now the story becomes the media covering up an illegal immigrant, which is a minor part of the story. But again, here we go. The media's not telling the truth. If the headline was another illegal immigrant who sneaked across because of the liberal policies that the border is not closed, raped a 9-year-old. I mean, that's the story. President Joe Potato Head, who murdered 53 people in that hot van, just caused an abortion and a rape of a 9-year-old girl. I mean, it's his fault. So that's the other story. But then the other story is, how is it possible that a mother is so scared of being illegal in America because they knew, I'm assuming this, that is so scared about being kicked back to her home country that she's willing to let the guy in her boyfriend maybe, or guy living in the house, rape her daughter in order not to get thrown out of the country? Jesus, I mean, come on. Am I losing my mind here? Have you ever heard of such a thing? And again, it went from one level to the next. And now, I mean, at some point, we're going to find out what happened. Are the police in the cover-up? The city is a what do you call it? You're free not to turn you in city. A travesty city.
Sanctuary.
A sanctuary city, which is also a travesty city, in my way. A sanctuary city. So again, was this part of the cover-up? Did the health people just say, don't tell anybody, just send her across? I mean, this is unbelievable.
What's the common denominator between the government allowing this and the media and the people?
Wow.
Democrats.
I can't think of anything. Can you? Anybody think of? Yeah.
Everywhere you look.
And Ohio is supposed to be a conservative state, but again, the people making the decisions are these liberals who would rather cover things up and try to get away. And then the idiocy of the doctor using it as a way to be pro-abortion. And by the way, she's now in trouble for maybe not doing the Hippocratic Oath or whatever, the proper tenets that go with. I mean, but there's something else about reporting incidents and what the way to do it. I mean, I don't know. This is so freaking confusing, but it all stinks. It's a horrible, horrible turn of affairs, and it's all because of Donald Trump, because they hate everything Donald Trump stands for, and Roe versus Wade is all they've got, that and the guns, and they're going to go for it, and they'll do anything to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't become president again. It's just coming full circle, and it's just making me nuts. And the media, an Ohio man. An Ohio man. It's really the death of the First Amendment. If you don't have a free press that's willing to operate with truth and put perspective on facts, then you got, or distort facts. If they just, it's bad enough they don't give you a perspective, but if they just leave out the facts that are important for your own perspective, that's even worse. I mean, that's as bad as you can get. That's what Izvestia does in the Pravda.
It's sins of omission. What they leave out
It's
just
even
as
worse.
important as what they
That's
twist.
what they do. That's what they do. They leave out the stuff that you need to know. And news used to be the facts that people should know or need to know in order to go about their daily lives and make decisions based on how they feel, what they believe.
That's
a
not
joke.
new, because I sat there. I won't name names, but there's one in particular that would do the phone bank thing, basically fishing for the
Yeah.
right quote. And she would call, and if she got the professor at one school say something that she didn't like, she'd call another school
Yeah.
and another school till she got the professor to say what she wanted him to say in the story. And I watched her do it 100 times.
Well, I know who you mean.
I know exactly who I am. I don't care to go to court, so I'm not going to say anything.
And you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. In
And
fact,
there's a reason they're no longer in the business.
and I had more than one run-in with that particular thing there.
Moving on.
It's all in the book.
It's
It'll
all,
it'll all be in the
gonna
book.
be at chapter 7. It's broads I knew. Broads I knew, ladies and gentlemen. Flounder, do you have the soundbite of President Lady Parts when he was over making a fool of himself? I've got the script. I could just as well read the script on it. When he was made his Holocaust gaffe. That's right. It's fairly short. I'll just read it. But you're going to hear. And did you get the Ocasio one that I was talking about?
Yes.
Well, we're going to play that for here in a second. President Stupid is over in the Middle East. He's now in Saudi Arabia, but as we speak. But before that, he stopped, of course, in Israel. And once again, he turns to do a handshake, and there's nobody there. And he makes one of the great gaffes of all time. Again, it's almost like Anchorman. If you write it on the teleprompter, he's going to say it.
Damn
But
it.
this is even worse, because if he can't read the teleprompter, go blank yourself, San Diego. If he can't read the teleprompter, it can become even worse. Here's what he said. Your president. Later today, I will once more return to the hallowed ground of Yad Yashim to honor the 6 million Jewish lives that were stolen in a genocide, and continue, which we must do every day, continue to bear witness, to keep alive the truth, and to honor the Holocaust. The horror of the Holocaust. Honor those that we lost, so we'll never, ever lose them again. He wants to honor the Holocaust, ladies and gentlemen. Then, honor the people you lost. We lost those people forever. The lesson, to continue our shared done work. Oh, my God. I mean...
Hey, they can't say anything. They gave him the credential. They gave him another award, another plaque, another medal. They just hand each other this bullshit.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
While the world burns, they're handing each other medals.
I know.
So get the hell with them.
Yeah, and he did another phantom handshake where he's.
Well, that was to all the victims of the Holocaust. It was.
And by the way, one of my funnier, more amusing stories that I was having fun with today was Ocasio Bangbango Stupidio, who was one of the first person to mock the Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh when he and his family had to leave Morton's restaurant after being chased away by scumbag Democrats and Trump haters. And again, anti-Donald Trump people. There we go. He voted on the Supreme Court, and so he was a Trump appointee. Therefore, he's bad. Therefore, attack him any way you can. It's like Maxine Walrushead in California said, "Go get him. Go, make their lives miserable." So they did. And so Ocasio-Bangbango Stupidio is one of the first people to say that exactly. Oh, poor baby didn't get to finish his fillet or what. He was just mocking it, didn't get his dinner, and made some joke about some Republican meal that some veal he would have killed himself or so. I don't remember. Anyway, so the other day, I know I've never heard of this guy, but there's some guy who I guess he does a podcast, and he's apparently a somewhat well-known provocateur of conservative causes, and he makes fun of people and does things. And he confronted Ocasio-Bangbang Stupidio, otherwise formerly known as a bartender named Sandy, and he confronted her as she was going up the steps of the Capitol, and he was talking about her booty and her butt, and he was just making fun of her, saying, "Oh man, that's my favorite girl. Oh, look at her. Oh, sure, she's in favor of killing babies, but man, she sure is beautiful," and stuff like that. Well, so here's how some of that deal went on the Capitol steps with Ocasio-Bangbang Stupidio.
Hey everybody, I'm here in the Capitol. See this guy right there? Right there. When I was walking up, he said, hey, right in front of a Capitol police officer, hey, here's this, look at that big ass, look at that big juicy booty, this Latina, like whatever, you know, all the bunch of racist, sexist stuff. And since nobody can do anything, I'm just telling you because this institution is not designed to protect people.
Yeah, and then she blamed the cop. There was a cop standing right there, and he turned his back. He didn't even do anything. This cop was standing right there. This is the same woman who lied about being attacked at the Capitol on Ashley Babbitt Day in the mostly peaceful protest January 6th. She wasn't anywhere near where those people were at the Capitol. And by the way, whatever happened to the investigation of all that video where the FBI helped the protesters, the secret FBI agents, get away out the back door?
Kurt Schleister had the best response to it. He says, I thought it was your moral imperative to make people who you didn't agree with politically make their lives miserable. I heard that from you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, talk about a turnaround. Again, she complains, one, about the cops not doing anything, and
actually
complains about being heckled. What's that?
Eric had something pretty good as well. When the Supreme Court justices complained about being harassed, you said it was okay because they had rights under the First Amendment to express themselves. Doesn't he have the same right?
There you are. I mean, absolutely.
Rules for thee, not for me.
And by the way, again, it was rude of him to do that. I mean, I don't think that's a good thing to do. Whatever. But I
Whatever.
don't
She's
care.
from the Bronx.
Yeah,
You think
I-
she's never heard that? She was a fucking bartender.
Thieves are the people who chase a Republican woman into the restroom to try to, confront her. So, I mean, screw. Again, as far as I'm concerned, they have now thrown away the rule book.
The rules
you can't fight these people by playing by the rules. I mean, that's horse crap. The ends justify the means. So use whatever means necessary. And I truly believe that. Lie about them. I mean, if I were editor of a paper that had something, I would come out with a headline every day. Senator Raphael Warnock linked to a child sex gang. Because he's suspected of running a pimp ring. For underage children from China. It's an incredible story. And just say it. What are they going to do? I mean, you say that's my opinion, or I believe that, or I suspect it. I'm free to say that, but that's what the press does. They're free to say whatever the hell they want. It's advocacy journalism, and they're making it up and leaving out the stuff that's true. So screw them. And I hope they lose everything. Honestly, I hate these people and everything they freaking stand for. I'll tell you who I do like, though. I do like my buddy over at S&M Title Pawn. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, stand by. M&S Title Pawn. I say it funny like that because it sounds like I'm saying M&S, which is not one word, unless you spell it to look them up on the web, which I'll get to in a moment. M&S Title Pawn in beautiful Bremen, Georgia, right there at 306 Laurel Street, Suite A. They're open Monday through Saturday. Visit them in person at Laurel Street in Bremen, Georgia. M&S Title Pawn. And if you want to look them up on the web, this is when you spell M and S together, and it spells mans. So when you put it together to get them on the web, the web address is manstitle.com, M-A-N-D-S title.com. They have a phone, 678-821-3337. That's M&S Title Pawn in Bremen, Georgia. That's fine. Thank you. And Pete Davis, ladies and gentlemen. Are you in underpants? Or are those workout shorts?
Hey, you wanna see?
Oh, no. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm good. I'm fine now.
You ever know me not to wear underpants?
I know. I don't even want to.
I don't go commando. I'm sorry.
But yeah, there was a commando party when I lived in Brookhaven. And it was called a commando party, and that means you're not supposed to wear underpants.
Why?
I don't know. And this was back when I was married, so this had to be like before 2005, so early 2000s. And it was one of the mansions in Brookhaven back when I thought it was popular. And I think just wanted to see my wife. Anyway, to get her in a little short skirt. Anyway, so we're there, and who knew whether anybody was really not, doing commando until a redheaded woman walked in. One of the neighbors walked in the door, a little hottie from the neighborhood. Everybody knew that she was kind of a flirt. And she and her husband walk in the door, and she takes her skirt and goes, shoop, and lifts it up and got back down real quickly. She was commando. So somebody did, at least in the thing. But I guess I haven't heard of a commando party in 20 years.
Where's a fishbowl with keys in it?
By the way, wasn't that the strangest thing in the Christmas movie of the Grinch who stole? I mean, why would they put wife swapping in a children's family Grinch movie? I mean, seriously.
What do you think?
And I didn't. Honestly, when I saw it, I never even really got it because it didn't make any sense being in a children's movie. I don't know. What? You're smirking like you.
Well, it's Ron Howard and Jim Carrey. What do you expect?
Well, of course, nowadays I don't know much about Ron Howard, but I know Jim Carrey's a scumbag. I don't know much about Ron Howard these days, but anyway.
Everybody. First of all, Andy Griffith's show is the most overrated show in the history of television. It wasn't that funny. Second of all,
wow. Wow. Hold on a minute. Just
almost all of them turned out to be absolutely rancid Democrat liberals.
Yeah.
Almost every one of them. Andy Griffith.
Aunt B was a bitch too, by the way.
She?
Oh my God, Aunt B hated everybody. Aunt Olivia Bouvier, whatever her freaking name was. Oh God, she hated everybody because she was a Broadway actress. She was a Broadway actress, and she thought that they were all a bunch of bumpkins. So she complained all the. I think I'm talking about the right one.
Francis
Oh no! Now wait a minute, and maybe I'm talking about Happy Days.
Oh no! You've just besmirched the good name of Aunt B.
I could have just disparaged the good name of Aunt B. Now wait a minute. It was one of the women.
About Marion, what's her face from?
No, it wasn't
Happy
Marion
Days?
Ross from Happy Days. Was it Marion Ross from Happy Days?
Okay, well, see, you don't know. Now
or who was? Or wasn't the one from all the play? Way Glenn Miller played Family Guy. Well, it wasn't her. That was
Gene Stapleton was Broadway.
Yeah, but she was Sweet and Nice. I think it was Aunt B. It was the one.
B. Arthur was big time.
No,
Broadway.
It wasn't her. I think it was Aunt B. It was so nasty because she was a Broadway actress and thought it was beneath her and bitched and moaned the whole freaking time and never liked anybody on the set. I'll bet you can. In fact, if somebody has time to Google, they can Google Aunt B hated the show.
So, somebody pointed out once why everybody seemed to always be in a good mood on that show.
Yeah.
That none of them were married.
Yeah, right. They have to go home to a wife. They want to get a beer? Sure, I'll do whatever the hell I want. How about that?
Want to
go to a strip joint? Okay.
There are only two funny characters in that whole show. Otis the drunk and Floyd the barber.
Oh, Floyd the barber was great. He was great. Yeah.
So
Opie, sit up in a cheek chair.
If you Google it, it says Andy Griffith and Francis, is it Bavier?
Yeah.
Bavier did not get along during the series. According to Griffith and Howard Morris, Beaver was extremely sensitive and resented her role of Aunt B.
Yeah, see, I told you.
Howard Morris was funny too. Howard, by the way, they
Howard,
based Ernie from
Ernie.
Bert. Yeah, they based Bert from Ernie and Bert. Was based a little bit on Howard Morris.
Really? Is that right?
That and the characters from the taxi driver and the cop from It's a Wonderful Life.
I'll be damned. I did not know that. That's pretty funny. Let's see. Are you ready for a happy good news story?
Sure, it's Friday.
Why not? Oops, I almost got the wrong one. Oh, no, I got to find it here. Hold on. Oh, I hate when I do this.
Kimmer losing it. Brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com of Sonoya, Georgia, printing custom shirts, hats, signs, and promotional items since 1866. No minimum order, no setup fees. Laser engraving on anything you want. Caps and cups and signs and leather goods. Your hand, if you put it in the way, they'll do it. It's FarmhousePrintingCo.com for all your basically Kimmer Show needs and Holy Crap at Sports, Shannon Burke, whatever you need. They got it for you.
I love that part. In fact, I just sent to my daughter Jennifer a package of things from FarmhousePrintingCo.com, and in fact, it's they have. In fact, I've got more ideas coming for various things, and when I get them, I'll show them to you. But you can do anything you want, whatever you want, on a hat, a T-shirt, a pair of boots. I mean, keychain. I don't know, anything you want. Anyway, they're good folks over there. And Q, we are back to good to go. Okay, a guy is with his buddy off a beach off of Greece. And all of a sudden, his friends on shore say, uh-oh, there he goes. He's going out to sea. And the waves apparently carried him out to sea. His name is Ivan. He was 30 years old. And he got caught in the currents off the coast of Miti Beach in Cassandra, Greece. His friends were concerned because he's drifting away. And they're saying, so they called the freaking Coast Guard. And Ivan was declared lost at sea. He somehow found what they call a football. He found a soccer ball like Wilson from Abandoned on the Castaway, and it was partly deflated, but it was a soccer ball at sea, and he clinged to it for 18 hours until he was spotted and pulled out of the water. His friend disappeared, went under at some point, but he at least had the story.
Wouldn't share the soccer ball, would he?
Screw, I got your own soccer ball, pally boy. I mean, it was his life we're talking about. I just have to outrun you and that bear. Anyway, a picture of him posing with a ball. A mother who saw the story came forward to fill in the blanks as the one that her son had lost in that part of the bay 10 days earlier. Had floated out to sea, the soccer ball, and this guy found it and clung to it for 18 hours. Now, that means overnight. That means, that would scare the crap out of me. Yeah, sharks or poisonous sea turtles.
There's sharks in the Mediterranean.
Hell, it could be anywhere.
It could be in your pool.
It could be any place.
Land sharks.
But again, 18 hours. Now, it reminded me, there are ways, if you have clothing on, if you have like a shirt on,
that don't work.
Well, no, it works.
They showed us in high school, and no one could get it to work.
Well, in the Marine Corps, you better learn how to be drown-proof because you're in the water whether you like it or not, and you're in there. So it's not like I'm done now, sir, Mr. Sergeant. Yeah, no, no, it was no, it was you're in either drown or you do it right. So anyway, there's a way to drown-proof yourself.
Turn your shirt up and
put air in it and so forth.
But we could never get it to work.
But the other thing is the dead man's float, where you actually you fall forward like a jellyfish, and then you bob back up, take a breath, and then but it's hard to do because your mind is racing.
I could float on my back for hours. I was good. I could float on my back for a long time.
I can float if I help myself, but you're going to get exhausted doing that. So, but there's a way. You should try to, if you don't know much about swimming or drown proofing, take a class just to see. I mean, because you never know. And again, the ocean scares me. I do not like going in the ocean. I mean, I had fun in it and stuff, but actually, I'm more nervous when I'm in a lake. Lakes are dirty, and they got poisonous turtles and snakes coming up on your boat.
As someone who surfed like me, you never quite know. Like, I had one brush up against my leg.
A shark surfing?
Yeah.
Really?
And I looked down, I saw it. It was rough. The skin was rough when it went past my leg.
You remember that video a few years ago that went viral of the surfer? It was a surfing contest, and he nudged up against it. You just saw the fin of the shark come up.
They said that was Photoshop, but I'll believe it. I guarantee you.
The scary one was the photos that showed that some bitches are in the waves with you.
Yeah, right.
They're in the wave, because you always thought you were safe when you're up on the board in the wave.
No.
They're in the wave, too. They're surfing with you.
You see that a lot with dolphins, but I've never seen with sharks.
Oh, sharks. Yeah.
Either way, dolphin will kill you. Dolphin will take you down. Dolphin will latch on like he does a girl. Dolphin killed that girl in the pool. He wanted to hump her, and he took her down to the bottom and humped her, and she died.
I tell you what, they went to Jamaica, and they let you, swim with them and pet them, and then they let you pull them across the water.
No.
It was a great experience. It really was cool.
Well, I got a picture of me holding up a giant stingray, and another picture of me holding up a shark, a big, huge shark in both hands. So, who am I to speak? I'm nobody.
We used to
Absolutely
catch
nobody.
We used to catch sharks. That inlet there, North Myrtle Beach. We used to catch sharks.
Really? I never caught it. Surf casting and stuff?
No, we were out in a little boat. My girlfriend and her mother. And you pull it in thinking it was some bass or some sea bass or whatever. It was about a shark. It's about this long. You take the hook out and carefully throw it back
off an oil rig off a coast in New Orleans. On an oil rig, I caught about a 30-pound redfish. And man, were my wrists sore after I got that thing. Oh, I mean, I had no idea. I mean, that's a. Oh man! I mean, I remember how that was struggle to get. Oh, that was really cool.
Thank God you had all that exercise.
That's all I had at the time. Oh, brother. Anyway, the guy lived at sea, floated 18 hours, and overnight would have must have been scarier than hell. That must have he must have freaked entirely. Do we have that comedian guy we were going to play the other day? And Steven something, and he was talking about, he said, I'm not, nobody becomes a racist all at once. You would send it to me, or somebody did. Yeah, and it was.
I have to wait till Monday because that's on Instagram. That's a little more tricky to.
Oh, it is? Okay. Well, anyway, just for the record.
God, did you send me this?
I think you sent it.
Let me see what I can do here.
Anyway, just for record. While if you can do it, fine. If not, it's just for goofing around. I got a bizarre story about something in history that happened here too, and also a birthday that involves one of the a comment from a date that I just remembered this morning as I was thinking about it, and that I've never heard before or since. But first of all, honoring in Congress, and I'm kind of offended they let Democrats have anything to do with this. A final salute to Woody Williams, the force of nature in the Battle of Iwo Jima, the Marine, 5'6", 130-pound Marine who died at the age of 98 a few weeks ago. The last living recipient of the Medal of Honor from World War II. And now they're all gone. He eliminated a series of Japanese machine gun pillbox nests, one after another, with a flamethrower. And when the flamethrower, I mean, think about that, okay? I mean, have you seen actual video of, oh my God. And you got to get right up. I mean, they're shooting at you. And he recalled that he could hear the ping and the ding. I remember when I saw Platoon, and the one memory that will always come stinking back is how musical the dings off of metal and equipment can be. And he would say it was like he was listening to music with the ding, 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 dings of the bullets flying off his gear. And when he ran out of flamethrower, he went back and got another one. And he did this like 8 different times. Shot at, up, and he killed them all. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. I mean, it was, this man, what he did, and I think he was in college and said, I'm going to join the Marines instead. And then later on, in fact, he was on Fox with that luscious Shannon Bream, God, I love her, and also with the other luscious little blonde, Martha McCallum. And he was well known for the work he did for Gold Star families, who are families who have lost a serviceman in battle and so forth. Anyway, and they gave him a hero's send-off at the Capitol, which has only been done 6 other times. They've done it for Rosa Parks, Billy Graham, and 4 Capitol police officers, and that's it. And until Woody Williams, the Force, United States Marine Medal of Honor recipient. Anyway. And to have Nancy Pelosi and these people praising the heroism of Syria today makes me freaking sick. Anyway, any luck on the thing there?
No, I can't find it.
Okay.
Resend it to me and I'll play it
Okie dokie. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to save that for later. Right over there with the thing there. Hold on. I've got the story of a man who outgrew his father when he was about 7 and set a record. Also, a date at a concert whose lead singer is on the birthday list today that shocked me, and I didn't know how to react, and I still don't. Getting that in a second. First, how'd you like a new ride, a new whip, a new ride, a new whip? Call it a whip. It's a kind of colloquial phrase. SwapMyWhip.com. If you, no, wait a minute now. If you're thinking, I wonder what's out there, and before you start looking at all the used car lists or going to a dealer's lot or something, how about SwapMyWhip.com? You'll find like-minded car owners who are thinking, maybe somebody's got a car that I want, and he's got a car that I want, and they want it, and you can make out your own thing, your own deal. No used car salesmen, no dealerships. SwapMyWhip.com. You might get yourself a way better deal, and avoiding the middleman entirely. And it's not just your car. How about a boat? Maybe a jet ski. See where we're going here? SwapMyWhip.com. And if you use the coupon code KIMMER, KIMMER, 180 days of free premium listings on SwapMyWhip.com. Once again, that's SwapMyWhip.com. Coming Country Fair Festival, is that T-shirt there? Oh my goodness.
There is a such thing as the Coming Country Fair. It's coming.
It would be a festival, I can promise you that, ladies and gentlemen.
So this concert,
Yeah.
that's something. Did someone stick their finger up your bum or something?
No. It was actually it was Linda Ronstadt, and who is 76 years old today.
She was.
Did you have a crush on her?
Goddess. Oh my God.
Well, for a while there.
That she had a poster. It was just her face and her hair, and she had an orchid, a white orchid, in her ear, and it was just her face.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
Oh
that
my
picture.
God.
Oh, she.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's sick and it's twisted. But when I was like 17, when
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
at the height of her powers,
Yeah.
what do you call it when you have a perversion? I don't know if it's a perversion.
Oh, fatuation.
Fantasy.
Fantasy, infatuation,
Was
or
her
fantasy?
to be doing something to me while singing Blue Bayou.
Well, there you are. I think we don't have to go down that road particularly.
Speaking of going down.
But seriously, in fact, she was she married to or just engaged with the Medal of Honor recipient from Nebraska, the governor of
Bob
Kerry,
Kerry.
Bob Kerry.
I think they dated. She dated Jerry Brown a couple times.
Yeah.
She dated a lot of-
Governor Moonbeam.
I don't know
That's
if
Mike
she ever
Royko.
got married. She probably did.
What's the name of that song? Why You Blew Me?
Blue Bayou.
It's a whole different Blue Bayou.
It was an
Thank
old
you.
Roy Orbison song, and she.
Oh,
my-
yeah, she did a beautiful job of it.
So
She's a great
sexy.
singer. But my brother got us tickets. He was the golf pro who lived in Cohasset up in New England, and he got us tickets for a concert with Linda Ronstadt, and he got me a blind date. And so the blind date, and she was, she was good looking, and decent looking, and good figure, and nice girl, and then she seemed pleasant. Although she had that freaking Boston accent, which I hate. I just hate, park my candy out. I just hate that. I just freaking hate it.
Just ways to
Which
shut
was
up.
fine, but I wasn't going to hold that against her. It was a girl, she was a living, breathing girl, and this was before I think this had to be before my final marriage, so it had to be like, oh my God, what would it have been, like 1990, 91, 19, I don't know, remember it was. Anyway, not probably 1990. Anyway, so we're there, and Linda Ronstadt comes out, and everybody applauds, and she starts singing. And then she said, on drums is Bill so-and-so, and starts singing. And on accordion is so-and-so, or whatever, and starts singing. And that's what she did, and she sang. And then she was done, and she was gone. And I said, I don't think she ever said a word about her life, her band, or how she wrote a song, or where she used to grow. I mean, I don't remember any personal comment about her at all. It was a fine concert, great song. She sang as well in person as she does on. But I'm thinking, I would have liked to. I mean, wouldn't you want to? I don't know. I was just changing the same thing. Anyway, so this girl. So after that, my brother. Did he have? I guess he had a date. He and his girlfriend did something, and I think I had driven to see him. So I had my car, so we drove to get something to drink or whatever. And at some point, I remember her saying, "Well, I'm not going to have sex with you tonight." I swear to God, I mean, she said, "Well, I'm not going to have sex with you tonight." And of course, they said, "Oh, well, no, I would never, have assumed a little dirty little piece of crap, you dirty." What do you mean you're not gonna have sex with me? We just went to a concert. I thought you were supposed to have sex after a concert. What do I know? I was single. I didn't know anything. And I couldn't believe. I mean, I was just so shocked. Have you ever had a girl say something like that to you?
Well, I've told you before, and you know her. The first real date we went out on, and we met when we were both drunk. So when we finally went out on a real date, it was kind of weird because we were both sober at first. Yeah. So we went to this nice restaurant there in Virginia Highlands, and then we get in my car, and it was like, "Well, what are you going to do now?" It was getting kind of late, and I said, "You want to come back to my place? We'll watch a movie or something?" She goes, "Sure." And I started to put the key in the ignition. She goes, "I'm not going to sleep with you." And I just turned and looked at her like, okay. And she burst out laughing. "Oh, of course I'm going to sleep. What do you think is going to happen?" So she was just
well,
kidding
see,
me.
that would have been funny.
That was
if
funny.
This girl had said, "Oh, I'm only kidding you. Here, I'll give you a little something." Bing bang poppity
Well, I'm
boopity.
not going to sleep with you.
But so it was ruined. The rest of the night was ruined, and I wasn't going to. There was no way that I thought that I was going to have sex with some strange girl I met at the con. I mean, I really had no. I really never thought that for a minute. I really didn't. But for her to say it, and the rest of the night was ruined as far as I'm concerned.
Maybe she wanted you to work for it.
No, I she had that the Boston car thing, a whole accent. So he had that kind of that rough edge. And I don't like rough edge chicks. I like sweet, happy girls. Who I don't. God, it was horrible. And again, it ruined the whole night. The rest, and I don't remember even how it ended because it was not memorable. I don't remember because I had no memory because she wasn't worth a memory. Anyway. What?
Did you call her back?
Well, you can at least give me a little something. I didn't call her back.
What's funny, this was the 5th date.
I never called her again. Anyway, Linda Ronstadt is 76 years old today. Did you know that she, according to Flounder's Guy, again, Flounder, I looked at several history lists and birthdays, and Flounder sends one that, from somewhere he gets something where I don't know where it is. And his list guy said, quote, she's responsible for the formation of the Eagles. The original Eagles members, Don Henley, Glenn Frey, Randy Meisner, and Bernie Layden, were all members of her backing band.
Well, probably, yeah.
Did you know the Stone Ponies?
They all were like intertwined.
Yeah.
Her and the Birds.
They were all in her band.
Flying Burrito Brothers.
And she's won 11 Grammys and an Emmy, among other things.
Hell of a singer.
And I was not going to have sex after her concert.
Can't sing anymore either. Because
well,
for
she's
years.
got Parkinson's or something. Is that what you just said? Ariana Huffington, the skank behind the liberal Greek behind the Huffington Post, is 72. Jesse Ventura, 71 years old, ex-Minnesota governor. And Flounder's Guy said about Jesse Ventura, was he the prototype for Governor Schwarzenegger and President Trump? Well, of course, he was the wrestling so-and-so, but that's kind of one way to look at it. Patrick Wayne. You may know the name, the actor, 83, John Wayne's second son. And by the way, speaking of John Wayne, and I think Patrick Wayne was in something like 9 of
he was
his
like
father's
McClintock, and I think
he was on a bunch of, I think it was like 9 or 10 of the Duke's movies. And speaking of the Duke, the last words of John Wayne, right before his stomach cancer finally got him in 1979, and he was suffering terribly, and he was about to go, and they all knew it. And his daughter, Aisa, was by his side holding his hand, and she said to her father, John Wayne, she said, do you even know who I am? And he said, of course I know who you are. You're my girl. I love you. And died.
Have you seen, do you have Grit?
The movie?
The Grit Network?
No, I don't. I don't know.
I
I
was
don't think so.
flicking around and found it a few weeks ago. I was talking to Jeff
don't think I
Hollinger
know
about
that one.
this because he watches it too. It's all the old westerns from the 50s, 60s, and
Really?
early 70s. High Chaparral, Tales of Wells Fargo with Dale Robertson, who I'm watching last night. There's 2 bad guys on there. The first one's Buddy Ebsen, plays a killer.
Oh, my God.
And the second one was Professor from Gilligan's Island.
Oh, he's been in a lot of bad things.
He was a lot, and there's Dale Robbins. I didn't know much about, and Hollinger's telling me, oh, he's a bad guy. Everyone hated him and everything. But they all the old 50s
Randolph
and 60s.
Scott.
Yes, and they play John Wayne movies, and it's all Western
cool
stuff. It's called Grit TV.
I'll be damned. I don't think I've never seen it. I obviously don't have it unless it's on a is it HD high def? It's got to be high def.
sure
I would
it is.
assume.
Well, I don't know if because those shows were not
Well,
done.
those old shows weren't, but they might be replayed in high def. Brigitte Nielsen is 59. She was the blonde chick in the Rocky movie, played the girlfriend of the Russian guy. And she and Sylvester Stallone were they married or just they were married for a while. Do you know the name Artemis Pyle? Leonard Skinner's drummer at one point, 74 years old. I don't think he was the drummer who was next to Wayne's and my boat
not.
at Alatoona. they kicked him out of there of the dock because he had some unfortunately habits. But he was a funny guy. He was a great guy. The very luscious but sort of aggressive Diane Kruger, the actress, 46 today. Yes, please.
She's one of the most beautiful. Her face.
I like her, yeah.
In that movie about World War I, when the Germans and the British stop on Christmas Eve to play soccer, she's in the movie and she sings. She's like a goddess. She's married to the guy from Walking Dead, which you would never think. There's this German actress married to the long-haired hick guy. Who's a good actor, but he's from Walking Dead.
Oh, she was great in the movie with the guy from Ireland, someplace who hates America, but he's all guns. Liam Neeson, and where he lost his memory, was a hitman, and she played the taxi driver who saved him. I can't remember the name of the thing. It was a great movie.
She was in the Nicolas Cage movies too.
Yeah, she's been in. Yeah, that's right. She's been in a bunch
And I
of them.
swear, at the height of the panic, when we all had the masks on, and I swear I saw her in Kroger there in Roswell.
Really?
I mean, it was her eyes. It looked just like her. And I made eye contact with her as we passed, and she had this look in her eyes like, don't
she
say.
She beckoned you to her car.
Embellish.
Embellish.
Well, yeah, embellish. Yeah, we ended
Please
up.
don't tell. Like, she didn't want to be noticed.
She didn't want me. Basically, the look in her eyes, all of a sudden, it was like almost panic. Please don't say anything. I'm just here shopping.
There you are.
I swear it had to be her.
Well, there you are.
And you're thinking of Norman Reedus.
Yeah, Norman Reedus is his name.
Oh my!
What was that movie he was in from Boston? There was the two guys in Boston. That was like this. They made two movies of it. It's this two guys that are fighting the mob in Boston.
Oh,
the
Black
Sanddocs.
Hat?
No,
No, not Black
Triple
Hat.
Nine, Gossip, Pawn Shop, Hello Herman, Air,
no. Keep going.
The Sanddock Saints.
The Boondock Saints.
The
Have you ever
Boondock
seen that
Saints,
movie?
yeah.
Oh no, I've seen the title. I've
You,
never seen.
you
the
should
movie.
watch it. Boondock Saints. The first one
Is that the one of Tony Soprano's as a kid?
No. This is 20
okay.
years old movie.
Okay.
But it's really good. It's about the two kids from Boston who take on the mob, and it's pretty good.
Outstanding. I'll look for it. Let's see. Forrest Whitaker. Oh, I forgot to look up his. There's a movie he's in. He's 61. Forrest Whitaker. One of his early film experiences was he was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Now, Forrest Whitaker played Idi Amin in that movie. What's the matter? If I got some on my head.
No, he's got that.
Oh,
lazy
yeah, he's
eye.
got a bad eye. He's got a
The
funny
Last
eye.
King of
But
Scotland.
But he played Last King of Scotland. He was great in that. But there was another movie that never got any play, and he played a hitman who had pigeons, I think, or birds.
Ghost. Was it Ghost
No.
something?
I can't remember the name of it. I was going to Google it, and I freaking forgot. I'm so sorry. Forrest Whitaker movies, and he played
Ghost Dog?
Huh?
Ghost
Dog, The Way of the Samurai?
Yeah. The Way of the Samurai or something. And it was the strangest movie. Have you ever seen it?
I've
It
seen
was
part of it.
weird. It was the strangest movie, but I really liked it, and I keep looking for it again because it's Forrest Whitaker, and it was the damnedest. I mean, it was just really, really strange.
Gotta
so
get that box updated.
What's that?
Get the box updated. You could watch that.
Well, I should go ahead and do that. Get the new box and throw away all the stuff I have now.
Talk about his girl.
No,
like
no,
that.
really. That'd be better than I have now. I really am, seriously.
What's funny is I never did DVR. Never. I've never
Really?
DVR'd
Oh,
anything.
I've got a million
But
things.
the funny thing is now is you don't need to really DVR. I mean, it's one thing if you actually want to save a particular scene or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But with
Well, that's what I
streaming,
use.
you can.
Yeah, specific things. A couple other things here. I think we can all remember where we were on this day in 2016 when we heard that Chris Martin of Coldplay and the lovely and delicate Gwyneth Paltrow were going to consciously uncouple. Yes? Those 10 years of their marriage were among the 3 happiest years of their lives. And their humanoid offspring, Sunset, Onomatopoeia, and their adopted humanoid non-adult Caterpillar, are all in the same social sphere about it, at least according to their representatives. In 2012, speaking of marriage, Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony also split up after 7 years of marriage. On this day in 2012, you remember this Gangnam Style?
Yeah.
That thing debuted on this day in 2012 by Psy, P-S-Y, on YouTube. Since then, Gangnam Style has attracted 4.5 billion viewers. Yes.
Nostalgic Podblast says that Grit is channel 242 on Comcast.
No kidding.
So check out 242.
I will check out 242, and I wonder if
You'll be addicted. You'll be watching Tales of Wells Fargo all night.
Oh, Dale Robertson.
What a voice that guy had.
And who is
God.
it? Bat Masterson with Gene
Gene Barry?
Barry.
I love that show.
Oh, he's
Bat
got the
Masterson.
gold cane or
Yeah,
something.
the little pistol.
or the
And he-
silver cane.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But you know the real Bat Masterson, what happened to him?
Jeez, I'm gonna look. What's that?
You know what happened to the real Bat Masterson, who, by the way, was
Didn't he become a politician?
he was friends with Wyatt Earp. He
Yeah.
was part of that whole thing.
Yeah.
Killed men.
But he lived there. It was like 1890 or
He
something.
moved to
didn't
New York City and became a sports writer.
That's right. I remember. That's right. Yeah, and this was like 19. Was it close to 1900 or something?
Well, hell, Wyatt lived to the 20s.
Yeah.
In Hollywood.
Yeah, I think Wyatt Earp died in 1915 or 18 or something like that.
1920. He lived
Was it
into the
20?
20s because
Really?
he helped
Wow.
with movies. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I remember he used to work on the early movies. On this day in 1978, the Rolling Stones hit #1 with the album Some Girls. And oh boy, the cover designed by Peter Coriston featured the Stones in garish drag alongside female celebrities and some models in lingerie. That's when Lucille Ball, Farrah Fawcett, Liza Minnelli, Raquel Welch, and the estate of Marilyn Monroe all said, "We're suing you," because it was so disgusting and vile.
I have that album.
1978.
Because they had to change it to
Yeah.
put other bland things in there.
Right.
I have one of the originals.
Original.
Yeah.
And again, think how times have changed. That was 1978. Now the #1 song in America used to be FAP or whatever that one's, your WAP or whatever, what the thing. Yeah.
That album, if you pull it out, it had cutouts, and you could turn it around, put it back in, so it'd be different women going into the.
Oh my
to the
God, I
things.
love it. That was 1978. On this day, same day in 1985, Madonna, again, this is the difference between 78 and 85, Madonna showed up in both Playboy and Penthouse naked. And the pictures were taken in 1977, which is kind of bizarre. A couple of quick things here. In 1381, those pesky British peasants learned the lesson the hard way when the leader of their peasant revolt was brought before the crown and John Ball was hanged, then his 4 limbs tied to 4 horses, and giddy up for the pleasure of King Richard II, who enjoyed the whole thing.
I could be related to him. My mother's
Really?
surname is Ball, B-A-L.
No kidding. Very cool. On this day in 1799, French Captain Pierre-Francois Bouchard discovers the Rosetta Stone. Ironically, he found it in the village of Rosetta, Egypt, during the Napoleon campaign, which is fairly remarkable. 1838, Ralph Waldo Emerson delivers the address in 1838 at the Harvard Divinity School. Ralph Waldo Emerson basically discounts most of the miracles of Jesus, and he said Jesus was really a terrific guy and everything, but he wasn't God. And the Protestant community went nuts. I wanted to stone Ralph Waldo Emerson because he put it at the divinity graduation.
Blasphemy.
In 1916 in Seattle, William Boeing and George Westerfelt started the Pacific Aero Products Corporation, later to become the largest aerospace company in the world. Westerfeld. No, Boeing, of course.
The next one of you who says the word Jehovah.
You're out. Drowner. 1979, Jimmy Carter says there's so much doubt about the meaning of our own lives and a loss of the unity of purpose for our nation. It was a famous malaise speech. He never said the word malaise, but it was that we've lost our unity and our thinking of our own duty. Oh, my God. That was 79. 1997, I remember the series based on this was pretty good TV. Fashion designer Gianni Versace shot in the head twice and killed on the steps of his mansion in Miami. Andrew Cunanan did it. It turned out he was a serial killer. And it was a good TV series. Yeah. I remember enjoying it very much. You may remember this in 1976, the name Coachella, California. Coachella. An entire school bus of children, 26 of them and their driver, were kidnapped by 3 gunmen. They were forced into a moving van, which had been buried underground in a quarry in Livermore, California. The bus driver, Ed Ray, and some of the older kids spent 16 hours digging their way out in the middle of the night and then walked to a nearby guard shack at the quarry. It turns out that the owner of the quarry's son and 2 buddies did it. They got caught and were sentenced to life in prison.
I wouldn't have gone to that guard shack. I thought they'd be in on it.
Well, again, they may not have known even where they were.
By the way, they just let that sumbitch out of prison.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, a few weeks ago. They just let him out.
Oh, my God. I can't believe it. I didn't see that. Holy crap.
California.
It's 1976, but still, You know, life is life. 2006, Twitter was unleashed on the public. For better or
I
worse.
wonder how many they followed those kids to see how many became extreme claustrophobic or had problems later on in life because of being buried alive.
It's a great question. Remember the girl? What was her name? Not Hershey.
Barbara Jane Mackey?
Barbara Jane Mackle.
Mackle? Mackie.
Mackle, buried alive. Wasn't
in
that a Georgia case? Yeah.
In fact, when he took her to the burial place, he drove right by our house there at 285 and Rainbow Drive underneath the bridge there.
Barbara
And
Jane
I
Mackle.
figured out he had gone right past our house.
Yeah. And I forgot how she got.
And the FBI just found her. It's a good movie, by the way.
Yeah. Also, a bizarre thing in history. On this day in 1940, Robert Wadlow died. Robert Wadlow was only 22. When Robert was in kindergarten, he was 5'6". At the age of 18, he wore size 37 shoe, the largest ever recorded. When he died, he was the tallest man on earth, 8 feet 11 inches. Schools had to make special desks for him, wooden blocks to the bottom of his chairs so he wouldn't have to hunch over in class, to his desk so he wouldn't have to hunch over. He was born 8.5 pounds like everybody else, but a pituitary gland was the issue. He was the oldest of 2 brothers and 2 sisters who were all totally average. He collected stamps, enjoyed photography. He was active in Boy Scouts, but at some point he just got too big really to do much of anything. He went to law school. That didn't work. Became a Freemason. He was healthy until and it's mostly of his younger years, but because of his extreme height, he had no feeling in his legs and feet, and at some point had to wear braces, and he would not be able to notice things like blisters or infections. In 1936, 20, he was like 20 years old. He was noticed by the Ringling Brothers in their traveling circus, and they asked him if he'd like to be part of the circus. He said, sure, why not? He was a very nice man. The tallest man in the world, drew a huge crowd wherever he went, became a big celebrity in 1936. His father, in order for him to travel the country, the father took out the family front seat so he could sit in the back and stretch his legs out. He had a quiet life. He was seen playing guitar, working on photography. Let's see. Public spaces are kind of hard to take care of him, so he really couldn't do much when he went out in the world. At one point, he was at a National Forest Festival and he didn't realize he had a blister on his leg. It became so bad that it got infected. He ran a high fever. The doctors realized, oh my God, you didn't know this was happening, so they rushed to his aid, gave him a blood transfusion and emergency surgery, but it ended up killing him. He had a weakened immune system because he was 9 feet tall and eventually succumbed to the infection on the way to a golden anniversary party being held for his grandparents. And Robert Wadlow's the tallest man in the world. His last words were, the doctor says I won't get home for the celebration, and passed away. A couple of weeks before he died, he had measured officially 8 feet 11.1 inches. He was placed in a casket fit for the tallest man in the world, was more than 10 feet long, weighed 1,000 pounds, and took 18 pallbearers to carry his casket in and out of the funeral.
He really, really wanted to go to that celebration, but I guess he came up a little short.
Came up just a little short, ladies and gentlemen, because he didn't get to go the whole way there.
Well, that's the long and short of that story.
Sorry. We can edit that out. You know.
No. Why do that?
Why start now?
Yeah. Why start showing it in class now?
We're still asking him for money, aren't we?
I mean, come on.
PayPal, come on, fork it over. We're struggling here.
Oh, boy. Okay, all right. Is it time for other stuff? All right,
Yeah,
let's do
time
it.
for other
So
stuff.
I'm watching the British Open, the Open.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
They've got all the and they talk about the swales. You know the swales.
The swales, yes, the little valleys and gullies.
But every time they talk about the swales, all I can think of is the movie Dragnet with Dan Aykroyd.
The
Virgin Connie Swale.
Connie Swales.
The whole movie. Dan Aykroyd is Joe Friday. He talks about the Virgin Connie Swale. And at the end of it, Tom Hanks asks about her, and he goes, well, last night, Connie Swell and Tom Hanks says, wait a minute. You didn't say the Virgin Connie Swell. And all Aykroyd does is look at him and raise one eyebrow,
Right.
and you hear the bum, 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 bum.
He played a great role as Sergeant Fry. I mean,
It's
it
a
really
funny
was
movie.
a great role. It really is a fun. And Tom Hanks, when he first shows up, is that right? You think, Mister? That's the way this operates, Mister. You know, I mean, it was perfect. It was freaking perfect.
It was perfect.
It's a
You're
very
right.
funny movie.
It is a very funny.
Yeah.
It caught a lot of crap. It's not.
Oh,
All right,
please.
here's some facts to think about. What are you doing over there?
Well, I was going to wait till you were done with your Pete's tweets, but Mike did a little update on the website, and we now have a Pete Davis page with
Cool.
all of the links to his books, his podcast, and working on a couple other updates.
Excellent.
So again,
Thanks, Mike.
thekimmershow.net. And then for everyone who hasn't done that, kindly go to YouTube and subscribe there, and then head on back to thekimmershow.net and check out Pete's page.
And for example, if they want to if they want to get an address to send us money, what do they hit?
There's a contact.
Contact,
There's
there
a
you are.
contact, and that'll email Pete.
Okay.
There's also the phone number right on the page, so if someone wants to leave a voicemail. So
I thought somebody was going to leave a voicemail.
I will check this weekend, and it went to the wrong folder.
Yeah, you know, we should really we have to do better about that. It's my fault. I haven't been snapping any.
Well, Scooter says his son Lucas is
I'll
called.
definitely,
so-
I will
I'll
check that.
check on that.
But
Okey-doke.
again, if you want to do that, the phone number is 470-552-0030. Once again, 470-552-0030.
Excellent.
Excellent. Here's something to think about.
All right.
A clear toothpaste tube would make sense.
Absolutely. See how much you got in there.
You cannot imagine a new color.
Well, I'm not sure that's true.
Yeah, well, go for it.
I can imagine, but I can't describe it. Right now I'm imagining a color that's kind of a cross between a blue and a gray, and I can see the color in my mind, but
called
how am I going to
taupe.
describe it to you?
It's called taupe.
No.
I don't. I'm making that
By
up.
the way, you know that's at least they stopped making toothpaste tubes out of metal.
I know. I remember that.
When you
yeah.
squeeze them in the middle, you lose the whole. Families broke up over squeezing the toothpaste in the middle.
An actor's job is to convince you they're not an actor.
Good point.
And what if oxygen is poisonous? It just takes 75 to 100 years to kill us. Clayton says,
Clayton.
"Hey, y'all, enjoyed the show Wednesday, but I'm 100% sure I agree with Hector's math.
Uh-oh.
I think the metric system messed him up. In my head, I thought if light goes 186,000 miles per second, that would mean over 5 seconds to go 1 million miles. If the Earth is 93 million miles from the sun, that would be over 6 minutes for its light to get here. I looked it up, and they say around 8 minutes is the accepted number. Now, we're talking about the light going to the moon and then reflecting back to us, which would be even longer.
Yeah,
Well, but the moon's closer than the sun.
So basically, Clayton is calling Hector out.
He's calling you out, Hector.
So, and Buddy also says, remember, fall forward and spring back.
Are we going through that again? Is there time for that already? I thought we just had the summer solstice.
Here's a story I found yesterday that I thought was the Babylon Bee had written this. It's a British conservative politician who told a court that he fled a late-night crash in his black leather miniskirt and high heels because he feared being attacked. Okay.
That was the reason?
Jamie Wallace has represented Bridge End since 2019. Ran into basically a light pole and claimed he was trying to swerve away from a cat.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's see. But
right,
he
that
claimed
could happen.
he thought he was going to be raped, killed, or kidnapped because he has post-traumatic stress disorder. Why? Because he says he was raped in September. Okay.
Okay.
He was wearing a white long-sleeve top that was tight to the body, a black leather PVC miniskirt, tights, dark shoes with a high heel, and a pearl necklace. Big fan of Jock Peterson, I believe. So when the police finally found him at his home, he called his dad.
Yeah.
His dad came and picked him up. Imagine your son
Dad.
calls you, and he's dressed as a woman. But anyway,
Yeah.
they got to his flat. They found a blonde wig on the table. He was in the bedroom fast asleep. He still was wearing his makeup. As the cop said, his eyelids were dark, his lips were red, and his cheeks were bronzed, and he had red nail polish on his toes.
Oh.
Found naked in bed.
Ah. And he's a British what?
Yeah, he's an MP.
No, God.
He's in Parliament.
I'm a member of Parliament.
And
yeah.
they asked him about it. He says, how long you felt like this? He said, since I was a small child.
And they thought the Profumo scandal was was a big one back in the 50s or whatever the hell that was.
Paul
Jeez.
White has a conspiracy theory here.
All right, sir.
I don't know if you noticed that as soon as Biden went to Israel,
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom showed up at the White House.
In fact, I made a point this morning. Gavin Newsom showing up with his sleeves rolled up and his jacket over his shoulder, very presidential, sneaking behind one of the guys out. Also, he's got again. Gavin Newsom is in charge of the worst state in America. He's brought that state into nothing but human waste all
tried
over
to
the
recall
big,
him.
Yeah, and they're trying to get rid of him more, and they still are. Anyway, so now he thinks it's the opportunity is perfect for him to run for president. And what got me the most was he looks exactly the way that John Kerry tried to look when John Kerry was running for president, because he was trying to look like John Kennedy. Think about the three of them: John Kennedy, John Kerry, and now Gavin Newsom. All have the same, rolled up sleeves, shoulder over the corner Democrat leadership look. Every single one of them.
I thought he was trying to be Bill Pullman from Independence Day. That's
Well, that too,
who
yeah.
I thought.
But how is he the savior of anything?
I
He's-
know. It's perfect.
he's got
I'm
the
totally
worst-
incompetent, so
oh,
I'll,
my
I'll
God.
become an even bigger incompetent.
Just look at what's happened to San Francisco and Los Angeles, two of the greatest cities in the world, until,
Not to mention, you remember how much he pissed away on that transportation thing? It was like almost $1 billion.
$80 billion
that they just
doesn't
quit.
go anywhere.
Just quit.
And not only that, his new commercial out is to talk about the freedom that California has that Florida doesn't have. He's going to shut down the schools, more masks, no restaurants,
bringing
no
them back.
going outside. I mean, it's exactly the opposite of the truth, and he's getting away with it. And he's going to be the next Democratic ticket. He'll be the guy.
California used to be the pride of the educational
Oh,
systems
God.
in this country. They are the lowest
Yeah.
literacy rate in the country
Yeah.
now.
Well, we know why.
So it's perfect. So anyway, Paul says, you heard it here first. Kamala will resign. Newsom will be the VP. Biden will leave office willingly or unwillingly. Newsom will be president and will run for the presidency as the incumbent.
So Biden quits. So Carmela becomes
No,
president,
no.
and she nominates
Kamala
him.
quits. And he's appointed vice president.
She's never going to go along
and
with that.
then they get rid of Biden.
Yeah. Well,
How would that process work?
Well, they get to nominate. It's like Nelson Rockefeller became vice president because they said you're vice president. I mean, they get
Well, you have to go through something.
Well,
though.
yeah.
I mean, does it go
think
through
the Senate
Congress?
has to
I mean-
confirm you. No, I think. Well, now let me remember. I should know this.
It was
'cause
Gerald Ford made him.
Gerald Ford. When Nixon resigned, Gerald Ford became president and made Nelson Rockefeller his vice president. And I think it's nominated by the president and confirmed by the Senate. I think it has to be confirmed by the Senate.
Does it?
So he became vice president, but he was not elected by the people.
Right.
So that would be one way of doing it. I mean, but again, one of them would have to quit or be impeached or whatever and convicted.
So you don't think Kamala will quit? I don't think she'll quit
Oh,
either.
she'll never quit. She thinks she's going to be
The,
president.
the first
How stupid.
Indian, black woman, whatever
Oh,
you want to believe she
please.
is going to quit?
No, she's not going to quit.
I don't believe that.
They may get Biden to quit. They may, for the good of the party. At some point in the next, again, he's got 2 years to go.
I know.
And it may be in the next 2 years, at some point, they're going to say, really, we're going to have to work this out because you're not going to. And maybe he's willing. Of course, then Carmela's going to say, yeah, but I want to be the guy on the ticket, not the guy from California. So that would never work. I don't see that happening.
Bad Text Theater.
Bad texting.
All right, we did the one about the milkshake at McDonald's. You want to do the one right under that?
Let's see where.
Between first guy, second guy, they're
The
talking
teacher?
about math. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can work on my inflection here a little bit. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Okay.
You're going to be first guy or second guy?
I'll be the second guy.
All right, because all the pressure's on me then.
Exactly.
I'm teaching a class to help short people do math.
What's it called?
Making the little things count.
Oh, they love it when you call them the little things. All right, boys, have a great weekend. Any big plans or anything? Or go on.
The
see
weekend
what-
already.
I can't believe it. Yeah.
Watch the British Open, basically.
I will, and I'm not too thrilled with some of the coverage. With some of the shots they show.
There's like
it's just-
1,400 people
Yeah,
doing it.
I know. I don't know what's going on. Well, it's them. It's the BBC in charge, whoever's in charge right
And
now.
then it goes to USA Today, then Peacock, then
Yeah, I
NBC,
know.
and it's 1,000 people.
It's very bizarre. All right. Anyway, God bless America. Thank you all for watching. Seriously, and helping us out. I promise you, we are very grateful, and humbled and bizarre. And that's with no practice, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, hoorah, semper fi, I gotta go, you're killing me. Pete and Flounder, have a great one. And that's happened to Herb and a